The energy inside the arena was absolutely electric as the bell rang, signaling the start of what promised to be a wild, unpredictable fatal five-way matchup. Five of WWE's top superstars clashed in a no-disqualification, no-count-out showdown where the only way to win was by pinfall or submission. The moment it began, alliances and rivalries ignited instantly. Jericho and Kevin Owens wasted no time in targeting Seth Rollins, reigniting their fierce rivalry that had been simmering for months. Owens, known for his brutal aggression, and Jericho, the cunning veteran, seemed to be working in sync, but in a match where every man was out for himself, nothing could be trusted for long. While the chaos erupted among those three, a truly titanic face-off began to unfold in the ring. Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns were left alone, and the crowd buzzed in anticipation of a dream matchup. The sheer presence of Strowman dwarfed even Reigns, who is known for his intimidating stature. Few men alive can make Roman Reigns look small, but Strowman did just that. The tension between them could be felt throughout the arena as they locked eyes. Back on the outside, Rollins tried to regain control but found himself overwhelmed. The action was brutal and relentless. Chairs clanged, bodies were slammed, and the atmosphere was pure bedlam. Braun Strowman, the walking mountain, asserted his dominance early. He manhandled Jericho with such intensity that the damage could have canceled Jericho's Summer Rock tour with Fozzy. Meanwhile, Reigns stood tall, unflinching in the face of Strowman's power. Roman threw a flurry of punches, but Braun, like a wall of steel, shoved him back into the ropes with brute force. Reigns, ever the warrior, tried using his speed to find an opening, but he got clocked with a thundering blow. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Seth Rollins appeared with a kendo stick. It was legal under the match stipulations, and Rollins wielded it like a warrior on a mission, targeting Strowman with vicious strikes. He cracked the stick against Braun's body over and over, but unbelievably, the monster among men remained standing. The weapon snapped under the force, but Braun barely budged. Then came the table, a clear sign that this match had officially entered Warzone territory. Strowman's reign of terror continued, showcasing why he was the most dangerous man in the match. He moved with frightening speed for a man of his size, bulldozing over Rollins. Reigns re-entered the fray with heavy strikes, but Braun manhandled him effortlessly. The chaos never stopped. Jericho tried to strike from the top rope and got booted in midair. Kevin Owens attempted to slow Braun with punches, but it was like trying to punch a freight train. Braun steamrolled him with a devastating clothesline. The match had devolved into every man desperately trying to survive. Strowman was a one-man wrecking crew, laying waste to anyone in his path. It took all four remaining competitors, Rollins, Reigns, Owens, and Jericho, to momentarily ground the big man. For a fleeting moment, the strategy worked. Braun dropped to one knee, and the crowd rallied as all four men piled on. But it wasn't enough. With a roar of fury, Strowman exploded out of the human pile like a hurricane, sending bodies flying. Jericho, never one to learn a lesson quickly, tried again to attack Braun and got swatted aside. Roman Reigns tried to intervene, but a stiff kick from Owens staggered him. Rollins launched off the top rope and caught Braun in the jaw, but the big man was still on his feet. It took a Superman punch from Reigns to finally knock Strowman over the top rope and to the floor. The crowd erupted, amazed at the sheer effort it took from four world-class superstars to remove one man from the ring. Despite the brief teamwork, the match was far from over. Survivor Series implications hung heavily in the air. Rollins then hit a sling blade, showing his determination to win. He and Reigns, former Shield brothers turned bitter rivals, found themselves side by side once again, if only temporarily. Their unspoken chemistry resurfaced as they launched a dual attack on Strowman, throwing back to their days as a dominant faction. Reigns delivered another Superman punch, and Rollins hit a high-speed suicide dive, slamming Strowman into the barricade. It was an impressive, coordinated assault that had the crowd on their feet. For the first time in the match, Strowman looked vulnerable. Rollins signaled to Reigns. It was time to go back to their roots. The crowd knew what was coming, a devastating Shield-style powerbomb through the table. But before they could execute it, Jericho and Owens struck, breaking up the tribute and reminding everyone that this was a free-for-all. Owens and Jericho, close friends and master manipulators, took advantage. They turned their attention to Reigns, brutalizing him outside the ring. Owens hurled Reigns into the barricade with violent precision, then smashed him against the steel steps. As the assault continued, the question loomed: what condition would Roman Reigns be in for Survivor Series after such punishment? Back in the ring, Kevin Owens, full of arrogance, taunted his fallen opponents and even mocked Reigns with a cannonball splash. Then he and Jericho turned their attention to Rollins. Owens charged for another cannonball, but Rollins countered, sending him face-first into the barricade. Then, with laser focus, Rollins kicked Jericho in the midsection, hoisted him up, and slammed him through a table with a thunderous crash. Pieces of the shattered table littered ringside as Rollins locked eyes with Owens. They clashed fiercely, exchanging brutal shots. Rollins hit a knee to the face and nearly pinned Owens, but the champion kicked out at the last second. All 5 men were running on empty. Bodies were bruised, and energy was draining fast. The carnage was everywhere. Jericho and Strowman were down, Reigns was struggling to move, and Rollins was digging deep. Rollins climbed to the top rope, aiming to finish Owens with a high-flying frog splash. But at the last possible second, Owens rolled away and Rollins crashed hard. Owens, seizing the moment, went for a pop-up powerbomb. Rollins reversed and set up for the pedigree. Just as victory seemed certain, Jericho pulled the referee out of the ring. In this no DQ match, it was all legal, even if it was infuriating. Rollins kept fighting. He launched a suicide dive to take out Jericho, then ascended the ropes again. He dove, missed, but rolled through. Jericho pounced, attempting the walls of Jericho, but Rollins escaped and delivered a crushing kick to Jericho's face. Pedigree attempt again. Owens countered. Suddenly, Reigns flew back into the picture with a Superman punch. In a bizarre twist of fate, Owens stumbled backward and fell onto Jericho's body. The referee slid back into position and counted the 3. Kevin Owens had somehow won. He was the last man standing in the chaos, even if the final pinfall was pure chance. Jericho, his best friend, had taken the final blow, and Owens ended up pinning him inadvertently. The arena was stunned. Owens celebrated, though the victory had come in strange, perhaps even tragic fashion. The friendship between Owens and Jericho may have just imploded. Yet, Kevin Owens remained the Universal Champion. Roman Reigns lay motionless, battered. Rollins clutched his ribs in pain. Strowman was stirring, furious. The carnage left behind by this incredible match would no doubt echo all the way to Survivor Series. As the show ended, fans were left with more questions.